For my literacy coaching assignment, I worked with a homeschooling mom named Charlene that I met through a mutual acquaintance. Charlene was looking for help with some concerns she had for her 8th grade son. I explained to Charlene that we would be using a problem-solving model to help her find a solution to her problem. We would meet to discuss her problem, come up with a plan to address the problem, put the plan into action, and meet again to evaluate, tweak, or scrap the plan and try something new. Charlene had 2 concerns for her son's literacy development: below grade level spelling scores and lack of attention to detail while reading. To understand the problem in more detail, I met with Charlene and her son in their home. Charlene showed me some data she had collected on her son's spelling and reading comprehension, but because the data was vague, I decided to administer a couple of assessments. I used the upper level spelling inventory from the Words Their Way program, and then I had him read 2 passages from the qualitative reading inventory, one at a middle school level and one at a high school level. After meeting with Charlene and her son, I sent a follow-up email with some additional questions to help me understand his reading difficulties. Based on Charlene's concerns and the data from her son's assessments, I made a plan addressing the 2 areas of concern. To improve his spelling, I suggested that they switch to a morphological approach to spelling instruction to help him notice and automatize word patterns. To improve his reading comprehension, I recommended that Charlene encourage her son to take notes or annotate while he's reading to help him read more actively and strategically. Because Charlene had also mentioned a lesser concern that her son does not enjoy reading, I threw in an extra suggestion that she find a book club or create other opportunities for her son to talk about books with other people. I sent Charlene a detailed outline of my suggestions and told her that she should choose just one for us to focus on during the rest of our problem-solving cycle. I didn't hear back from Charlene for about a week, so I sent a follow-up email, and then, unfortunately, she replied back that after taking a closer look at my suggestions, she did not think it was the help she was looking for. I replied that part of the problem-solving cycle was evaluating the suggestion to see if it helped, and then revising it or trying something else if necessary. I suggested that we could determine that the plan was not successful and go back to the drawing board. I asked her if she could describe to me what she was hoping to get out of the process, and specifically what she didn't like about the suggestions, so that I could offer some alternatives that might work better. She stated that she liked the spelling suggestions, but that they didn't quite work with her current curriculum. She also said that annotating while reading could be helpful, but that she wasn't sure how to get started with it. I shared some materials that I use with my classes for annotation, and I also offered to meet with her and her son again to walk them through the process. Unfortunately, she replied that she didn't want to pursue that offer, as she was planning to take her son to a neurodevelopmentalist instead. I learned several things from this experience. One thing I learned was an appreciation for this problem-solving model as a helpful roadmap for literacy coaching with a focus on data. I like how this approach is systematic, which removes some of the haphazard guesswork from problem-solving. Second, although I was disappointed that Charlene was not receptive to my suggestions, I feel like this was a realistic scenario for literacy coaching. For example, the reason Charlene didn't want to try my approach for spelling instruction is because she had already purchased a different spelling curriculum. This happens all the time in the classroom setting, where a school has spent a lot of money on a curriculum that may not be working, but they stick with it because the money has already been spent. Also, the reason Charlene didn't want to try annotation was because she was unfamiliar with it and didn't want to try something new. I see this time and time again with teachers who insist on using ineffective or outdated teaching methods simply because it's the way they've always done it. Finally, although my literacy coaching experience was not 100% effective, I really enjoyed trying to help Charlene and her son find solutions to his reading difficulties. It was like using research to put together pieces of a puzzle. Whether it's with my own PLT, other teachers at my school, or other students in the future, I'm sure I'll be able to use this problem-solving model many more times. Although next time, hopefully I'll get to see a positive end result.